This is in regard to the Supreme Court that has ruled that students with more than 40% speech and language disabilities should not be barred from admission to medical colleges. The court stated that just because a student's disability is 44 or 45%, they should not be denied entry into the MBBS courses. Now, the Disability Board assessing the disability of the candidate must positively record whether the disability of the candidate will or will not be coming in the way of the candidate pursuing the course. And to get more on this, we have my colleague Sunil Prabhu joining us. Sunil, when we talk about the mandate of the law is to ensure that there's full and effective participation of people with disabilities in society just as equal as other citizens.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very positive, progressive judgment coming from the Supreme Court, led by Justice Gawai and Justice K.V. Vishnath, who, along with another judge, making this thing that there can't be a benchmark unless a disability board, unless you really say it's incapacitated. And definitely judicial bodies can have an overview of this decision on terms of people who should be admissible for MBBS. Until appellate authorities are there. And it's in that backdrop now that the Supreme Court has made it clear that, if you have 40 to 45% disability in terms of hearing and so forth, you can still be a doctor. Really a big fill-up for the differently abled people to ensure that they also get access to good medical education and that they are also eligible to participate in that entire process.
Right. Thank you so much, Sunil, for getting us all those details. We also have Nipun Malhotra. He is a disability rights activist, the founder of Nipman Foundation. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Of course, we've spoken about the court that has stressed the need for a more flexible and sensitive approach towards allowing medical education for people with disabilities. But this only includes the speech disability. It does not include other disabilities. Your reaction to that?
I think this is a welcome move. I think what needs to happen is that the way we look at disability really needs to change. We live in the 21st century, and technology has really empowered persons with disabilities to a large extent. People often quote Stephen Hawking, of course, being a great scientist who had multiple disabilities. But today, within India as well, we've had lawyers who are completely blind. We have doctors who already have various kinds of locomotor disabilities. We have IAS officers who come from various disabilities. And technology is empowering them a lot as well. So what could have been a severe disability, say 100 years back or 200 years back, or even 20 years back, to be very honest, might not be so severe today because of the technological aids that people can utilize to a large extent. I'll give an example, from my own life. You can see that I, of course, have a locomotor disability, but I'm also wearing glasses. A couple of 100 years back, I would have been visually disabled as well without these glasses in that sense. But today, because glasses is such a big industry and half the country is wearing glasses and continuing life in that sense. So I think technology can cover a lot for a lot of disabilities in that sense. And that's why the thinking needs to change. And we really need to look at functional classification of people and what functions can a person perform, both in their own life and through the aid of technology, rather than having these blanket bans like the Medical Council had till this particular judgment. So I'm very happy with the judgment in that sense.
Absolutely. Now, of course, the court is expressing its hope that, in these revised regulations and guidelines, by means of, having this inclusive attitude, going forward, what do you think are the other steps, similar steps that can be taken with other disabilities as well?
I think a lot can be done in that sense. There are a lot of cases that are, in fact, going on both in the Delhi High Court and the Supreme Court regarding a lot of medical students who want to go into the medical fraternity and have been denied entry because of disability. One of the first steps that I would recommend is that these medical assessment bodies should also have existing doctors with disabilities in them, because I think they'll be more progressive and they'll look at it from a broader disability lens through their own lived experience. So we need to include people with disabilities in the decision-making process as well. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, we need to start looking at functional classifications. There are a lot of medical procedures that, for example, that can be done by a wide variety of people. My own dentist has an extreme locomotor disability, but that has not stopped him from doing his work in dentistry, and that's a live example. So I just think we need to go in with a more open mind, and we need to make people with disabilities part of the decision making when it comes to medical assessment of potential candidates with disabilities.
Right, of course, the approach of the government in this matter is how best can one grant an opportunity to candidates with speech disabilities, and the approach should not be on how to disqualify them. But do you think this, is something that will give them equal opportunities? Will this be an equal leveling ground for the people with disabilities? Is this really possible?
I think it is possible. I think we live in the 21st century. And I hope this is just the start of a process in that sense. For example, if you look at a surgeon really needs to have dexterity with the hands. They need to have the medical knowledge. They don't really need to communicate much, and that's why that speech disability doesn't really come in their way. And even for that communication, there are technological solutions today. So why can't a surgeon have a speech disability? Corporate India has actually adopted this much easier. There are a lot of companies, for example, that in the manufacturing plants also have deaf people, because actually realize that there's a business model around it, that a deaf person will not really get distracted by sound, etc. So why not have a deaf person in a manufacturing plant? Just like that in the field of medicine as well. I mean, not every area within medicine will get affected by various disabilities. You might not want a surgeon with a severe locomotor disability where their hands cannot properly function, right? But somebody with a locomotor disability can do something else. Just like that, somebody with a speech disability could easily perform a surgery. It's really looking at what a person can do and what functions of theirs are fully capable in these kind of situations. And that's why instead of blanket bans, we need functional classification of various disabilities according to the area of medicine that a person wants to study.
Right, absolutely. Like you mentioned, technology plays a huge role in our lives now, and that could actually aid in people with disabilities. Thank you so much, Nipun Malhotra, for speaking to us here on NDTV.